Hi everybody, welcome back. Just kidding. What do I mean? Welcome back. As promised, I discussed at length. Excuse me. I discussed at length that I will be doing a video with my cousin. Insert cousin here. And we wanted to discuss like mothers and daughters. Which can be a heavy topic. My lips is a little ashy. Excuse me, guys. Which can be a very heavy topic, but I wanted to get into it because it coincides with the relationship series, because a relationship with your mother or with your daughter or you being a daughter is something you have to be able to sustain, because that's one of the first relationships you make. Literally, actually the first. But then also it ripples. And when I say it ripples, it affects your feminine relationships throughout your entire life. It affects your own self-identity hugely. And then when you become a mother yourself, you either do things out of spite because of how your mom did it, or unknowingly you replicate it because that's what you know. So I think I'm gonna let Jasmine start because we're on my channel and I do a lot of talking to you guys anyway. So Jasmine, take it away.
So for me, I didn't have a relationship with my mom. My mom wasn't able to keep me when she gave birth to me. So my dad raised me all the way up until I was 18, and that's when I first met my mom. And what I realize now is because I had to teach myself how to be a nurturer, because you learn how to be a nurturer from your mom, from the feminine aspect. Even though I had mother figures, there was always that piece missing of, okay, well, where's the actual mom? Like, where's my mom? And what I learned is that I've had a rocky road with feminine relationships or female relationships in my life, especially pertaining to those who I deem as a mother figure. So for me, because I used to be a people pleaser, I would put on this mask. I would create this false Jasmine because I thought that this was what the mother figure would want or wanted or deemed worthy enough of their love. And I saw that pattern follow me throughout my life until recently, until I healed my mother wound, which was my abandonment and people pleasing. And then I was able to reconnect with my mom more authentically and allow my mom to see who I am. And now we're in a space where we are learning each other, but we're also I'm allowing and being vulnerable with her. So I'm being affectionate with her. Like, I'll hug her, I'll kiss her, like I'll just lean my head against her. Where before I was rigid and I really wasn't sure like if I was safe enough to do that. So having that aspect and seeing how that my relationship with my mom progressed, it's amazing. Like, I love it. I love that for me. And
I love that for her, honestly. Like, to completely butt in, like 2 years ago, well, 3 years ago now, but 2 years ago in December, she went to Germany to spend time with her mom and her brother and her stepfather. And like, she wanted to connect with her mom and like have the hard conversations. And here I am. I support whatever happens and I am here for you. Between the two of us, I am the crier. So I'm like, call me if you want to cry. I don't know how international phone calls work, but call me. I'm going to answer. And they ended up just having a really good time. So she was going back again. I was like, oh, bring me chocolates. That didn't happen, but it's okay. But they got to heal. And when she told me about it, it was like fresh after her crying. And, I'm full support. Like, oh, you've been crying. It's such a good time now. Let's talk. But the beautiful thing about it is, like, when she shared that experience with me and was talking to me about it, like, hearing it come full circle, because whether you personally know me or not, I'm like team whatever people are doing. So like, when she wanted to get the answers from her mom, I'm like, yeah, let's get them. And then when it didn't happen, I was like, but we had a good time. And she's like, we did. So then this time when it happened, I'm like, wow. And now her mom's like secretly baking me a chocolate cake that she doesn't know she's baking me and gonna mail it to me because I listened to the difference in the bonding time. Like when she went the first time, it wasn't a lot of independent time with her mom. Also, her brother was there, so it was different. But this time around, it was just like her mom, her stepdad. So they had the bonding time. They were sitting and like, as an adult, like most people watching my channel are adults, your mom at some point becomes more like a friend. She's still your mother, because if she give you that look, you still gonna be like, I'm not gonna get my butt beat. But she's also your friend. So when you're frustrated, when you're upset, when you want to cry, when you're angry, or when something really super awesome happens to you, you still want to be like, I'm gonna tell my first friend, because your mom is your first friend. So I love seeing that, and like they look alike. And listen, don't get me wrong, Dallas, that's my fave, love him to life. But watching her interact with her mom and listening and seeing the pictures that they post and hearing about the experiences, like it's her joy that comes out. And when you're people pleasing, you don't have that internal joy. I just wanted to redirect this back to the relationship with self. Your internal joy is not there. Your internal happiness is not there, and it's difficult. And like she said, she struggled with female relationships. You want to please your mom, you want to get that from your mom, but then your mom is also an authority. So when you mess up, your mom tells you. But if that's not really your mom, you're kind of just like, and who do you think you are? So you become combative in that situation, whereas with your mother, you understand the nurturing aspect of it as you get older. Of course, when you're like a teenager, you're kind of like, I hate my mom, she's making my life hell. But like, that's not,
you hate me so much,
right? Like, you're the worst mom ever. But none of that is true, because when you become older, you realize like, oh, it was really all just for my good. So seeing that for her and like bearing witness to what it's done for her, like mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, like I'm honored to sit and watch that, because one, like seeing somebody's spiritual transformation is super dope, but also knowing how difficult that is, like you feel like the one person who should want me didn't want me. And then it's like every time you meet somebody that, oh, you could be like a mommy to me, but no, not really, because you don't really feel that hole. Like only my mommy feels that hole. And now it's like they're able to create the relationship. It's not like her mom's gonna teach her how to use pads or like any of that stuff. Like, you know how a lot of boys, when they have father wounds, they talk about, what are me and my dad gonna do, play catch? Like, I'm grown now. Like, no, it's not about that. It's about establishing a connection now, getting to know who you are now, and then having those weird and uncomfortable conversations. Like, maybe they're not ready to talk about it, but maybe at some point, if they talk about how her mom not being there really affected her, and like what challenges she faced, like that could be a conversation they have. And like, even still, that's super dope, because as an adult, like I said, your mom is your friend, so it's different. Sorry.
You're fine. And it kind of sort of is about throwing the ball with your dad. It's like because I wrote a blog about this on my channel or on my website, and I said everything that I dreamt about as a little girl, like raiding my mom's closet, going through all her beauty products, and like picking, like I got to do that. And so and part of that, and an aspect of that, fed my inner child. Like my inner child was like, oh, I'm going shopping. We wear the same shoe size. We wear the same tops. I'm like, she got all the Korean skincare. We're just gonna be in here shopping. And I got to do that. And I also got to bond with her, not only just me, but my inner child and my inner teen, who, for those of you who don't know, when you do inner child healing, you have to do your inner child and then your inner teen. Your inner teen is where all your rage and anger is. And that little boy or that little girl, they mad. They pissed. Okay? So it's like having that and building that relationship as an adult and seeing what it does for both of those aspects of me. It's amazing. It's something that I never really honestly thought would happen, and I'm so grateful. I'm so glad that I'm having the chance to have it happen. I'm actually living it.
It's like you guys aren't here to feel it, but like it's the giddiness. And I hope it's communicating in this video that you're understanding the giddiness. Like the true, like, oh, I'm going back to see my mom in August. We going to this, that. I'm like, can I come? And then she like, my mom gonna send me the recipe for this, and I made this with my mom, so we gonna make this, and oh, I gotta put you on to this. My mom was telling me about this, and I'm like, tell me everything. I want to know all the details. And it's because like now Jasmine is my cousin from my husband, but this is my cousin. So I told him no matter what happens, I'm keeping her forever. So with that, I've seen the struggle. I've been there through the abandonment, through the people pleasing, and like making those connections, because we walk in our spiritual journey together, making those connections and seeing that like I couldn't have wanted more for her. Like when she told me it finally happened, I was like, I'm so happy. And then I was crying because I said I'm a crier, so I just naturally cry with other people, and it was good for me. I don't know how she felt, but it was great for me. But so now I want to discuss.
I felt exhausted.
Just because she don't like to cry, but that's not my business. So my mom and I had a different type of relationship. She's always been my mom, always been my ace bone, right? Like love. There's nobody I love more than Gloria Townsend. Like 100,000%. That is my mama. Like I would go to war for her. But growing up, I was a daddy's girl. Like Elliot and I hung tough. Okay, like that was my rolie. I remember at dance competitions, he's the one putting on my lipstick. He's the one making sure I have 4 or 5 copies of my music when I was doing solos. Like my dad was like dance dad. Like not so much Mr. Mom, but he was there because my mom worked sometimes weird hours. Sometimes my mom would just be tired. Like she's been ripping and running, doing all the things that she wants to do. So my dad would step in. After my dad passed, it really presented itself for my mom and I to reconnect, because though we were connected, like we needed to establish our unique relationship. I didn't always just like sit and talk to my mom, but I also didn't sit and talk to my dad. Like my dad and I would like watch his like sci-fi shows and like, but my mom and I didn't have those moments. So he passed, and she was depressed. I was depressed that we were living in the same home. That was a lot of oppressive energy. In addition to, she had retired to take care of my daughter, which, like, honestly, if I thought my mom was a dope mom, she's like probably the best grandma ever. Like, grandmother mom, that's what my daughter calls her. She will go into a store and think of her grandkids. She'll be at work, and if I call her like, Mom, I can't get Lyric, boom, she's like, don't even worry about it, I got this. And I'm like, how do you have this and you're at work? And like, she will make a way out of no way for her grandkids all the time. And it's honestly one of the biggest blessings in watching their relationship, because I don't know how to deal with 2 old souls, but I watch it and it's hilarious because their banter is like,
they go back and forth like 2 old people.
And I'm like, Lyric, that's your grandmother. She like, right, but she said, and I'm like, wait a minute. So once I finally got out of my depression, which there's other videos that discuss how long it took me, I moved home. And in moving home, that's when my husband and I split. And there was nobody but my mommy. And I cried to her and I hugged her, and she said, you're not alone. You don't do this alone, and I'm always here. So you know it But then, like, she showed it. Like, I would be working. She would make sure that my daughter had dinner. She still does it. Honestly, I think that she's my kid's mom sometimes because I'll be sitting next to her. I'll be sitting right next to my kid or in the same room, and then she'll be like, "Grandmother, Mom, I'm ready for my snack. Grandmother, Mom, I'm ready for dinner." Mother, here.
She not there no more.
I don't exist when my mother walks through the door.
Right. Soon as grandmother mom walking, grandmother mom.
And I'll be like, "Ma, she didn't even tell me she's hungry." She's like, "It's fine. I knew she would be hungry." How? But as a mom, as a grandmother, you innately know. So reconnecting with my mom and like also working with her to process her grief. I'm not always prepared for it because I process my grief differently. I miss my father every single day, right? I actually recently did a thing. That's my daddy's signature. But I know that my dad's with me all the time. Like, I can feel his energy when he steps in to give me a hug and those types of things. And I go visit his gravesite because that's a way that I visit him. My mom was kind of always a person like a little bit in like a go mode, which I love her for it, but she's always in a go mode.
Well, you're always going somewhere.
She's always going somewhere. She's always piddling. I call it piddling. Like, she's always cleaning something up. My mom is the type of person, like, no exaggeration. You guys haven't seen my full house, but the picture, like the videos that you can see, we don't have a lot of stuff. My mom's the type of person to watch Hoarders and be like, "I need to clean.
I need to throw some things out. We need to get rid of some stuff."
Ma'am.
And I'm like, "Mom, what are you getting rid of?"
We don't have items. She's like, "It needs to go."
That little paper on the table, it gotta go.
And like, but it's her. And then there are things about my mom, she has her flaws. But we all do. And I had to grapple with loving her through her flaws. Her flaws used to make me very angry. And sometimes I still get angry because, like, I'm a kid. I'm still my mother's kid. But I love her despite the things that I don't like. And that's something that you learn through unconditional love. And what that helped me to do is really parent my daughter better. Because I learned a lot of things from my parents. And a lot of things from my mom. If I had a dress down day, or if I had to wear specific colors, or if I had to do anything at school, I would come home to my homework, and then my mother and I would go to the store and we would get it. And somehow, I don't know how, because we all got the same 24 hours in a day, but I'm going to tell you this much. She would have me back here by 5:30. Mind you, I would get out of school like 2:35, so I would get home at 3. Homework would be done. We would be at the store, back home by 5. Dinner would be on the table by 6. How? Because listen, I get off of work at 4:30 and having dinner fixed by 6:30, and I work from home. Sometimes I'm gonna order because I'm not.
Well, you know what's Uber Eats?
Like, what haven't we eaten that recently? It's here, and it's just like,
"Hello, Ashley, welcome back."
Legit, some of them be like, "You're one of our most, like, our top people," and I'm like, first of all, and that's for your negativity. Second of all, I probably need to save my money, but it taught me, like, even her time management, her organization is things that I'm imparting into my daughter that I don't always live up to. Like, right now, my daughter's organizing her toy room, and that's totally my mother's influence, like, through me. So it has been, like, super cool. But then I got a bonus mom and my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law, because sometimes that woman will drive me crazy, but I love her. I love her.
And when you love her, we will ride.
Listen.
You just gotta tell her where she gotta pull up.
Listen.
You just gotta tell her where.
There are a few people, like, my husband and I joke all the time. Like, if any of us need to get bailed out of jail, the first person we need to call is Kamea Birdie. And that's not even her last name anymore, but that's how we refer to her, because she got married. But we know, like, say less. Kamea is gonna come through. And her and I had a breaking in our relationship, and that killed me. It honestly, I didn't tell a lot of people about it, but I have loved her from the moment that I knew I was gonna be with her son, and like really be with him. Like not like when you first get into a relationship, because like sometimes you don't even think you like the person after like 4 months. But I did still like him. I liked him enough to procreate and get married. So it hurt me to my core because my mom and I had such a good relationship. My dad and I had such a good relationship that I couldn't understand, like, why is this happening? Why are we not best friends and going to get our nails done together? Side note, she does live in Florida, so the commute to the nail shop was going to be awkward. But, like...
I'll meet you there tomorrow.
I'm going to be there. Pick my color. And, like, the way I know she loves my daughter, like, that hurt me. Because I didn't even want to talk to her when we broke. I didn't want to talk to her. I didn't want to answer her phone calls. I didn't want her to text me. It was so bad, I was actually texting my sister-in-law about it, messaging her, and she was in Korea.
Facts.
So I have one person international, one person all the way at the bottom of the United States, essentially, and my sister-in-law and I are close. Like, that's my sister. Like, drop the in-law, no in-love, that's my sister. And I was so angry. And it was not just angry, it was hurt. And it wasn't just hurt because of the situation, which I've spoken about. I had been pregnant with a little girl and she wasn't going to make it. And my mother-in-law and I had conversations. And some of the things that she said to me was hurtful. And we have since repaired our relationship, and I think it's probably stronger.
No, definitely.
Stronger than ever, because like she was here and I went to pick her up from her truck because she drives trucks, and we're in the car and we're just talking, and we're at the truck talking, and I needed to get home because my daughter was sick, but she was going back to sleep. So, and she goes, Ashley, no matter what happens, you're always gonna be my daughter. And I was like, Ma, don't even worry about it, like, I love you. And she was like, no, I'm sorry for what happened. I say things out of anger and I don't always mean it. And I realize that I don't always communicate well. Even now, like, I'm prepared to cry because that's such a full circle moment for me. I'm sensitive anyway. True story. But
Jesus.
To hear that from her, because if somebody's gonna go hard, she's gonna go hard for her kids. She told somebody their baby was ugly because they was bothering her son. Like, so if you gonna tell somebody their baby ugly, like, to get an apology, no. You gonna have to work. You gonna have to work. And I just hugged her, and I felt in that hug, I felt her release of anything. And I'm not quick to forgive, but I had to forgive her, because if I held on to it, she wouldn't be able to have the relationship she has with my daughter. We wouldn't be able to have a relationship, and I want a relationship with her. I joke with all three of them because it's my husband, my sister, and my baby brother, because I keep them too. I keep the siblings.
And the cousin. Jesus. She just over here racking.
It's more than one cousin too.
It really is.
But
it's like 5 of us.
Wait, you're getting a little expensive. I don't think it's 5.
Okay, maybe I'm being dramatic.
I think there's like 2. But I tell them, like, if anything happens to your mom, you know I'm gonna be the one. You know I'm gonna have a house and your mom's gonna have a room. No matter what. Her and her husband. If they want it to be a mother-daughter, they're gonna have a space, because I'm going to make sure that they're taken care of. I'm not, like, I told my mom I was moving to Texas and I was gonna get a 3-bedroom so she would have a bedroom. Why do I need a 3-bedroom apartment? For my mama. So for me, not having that relationship when it fractured, I did not do well. And it wasn't like I would call her all the time or text her all the time, but I didn't even want to text her pictures of my daughter. Like, I was that upset. But
I was there. She was pissed.
Like, blocked. Not fully blocked, but close. And healing that with her. Like, sometimes now I just call her, like, hey, where you at? Are you okay? Have you been sleeping? How's Nana? That's the dog. I can't keep Nana because I'm allergic, but she know I love her. She the only dog I let sit on my lap other than my Joy. But that's different because Joy is hypoallergenic. But yeah, like, and even in watching, like, her helping me parent my daughter, that was helpful because she brought in her influence of being a mother to her son, which I didn't parent her son. I wasn't there when he was a kid. So I needed to know, like, was Lawrence like this? Why is she acting like this? She get that from her daddy. Oh, okay. How do I fix it? How do I redirect it? And she would tell me. And there were many times, like, when I was trying to potty train my daughter, I would tell her, like, Lyric, you can't just keep peeing in the pull-up. You got to be a big girl. And, you know, kids, they act out with their parents, but then she would talk to Grandma, because that's what she calls my mother-in-law, Grandma, and she would say, you got to listen to Mommy. You can't keep peeing in your pull-up. You got to be a big girl. And then it would take a couple days, and then all of a sudden my daughter's potty trained, and I'm just looking at her like, all you needed was a conversation? One conversation from Grandma?
Should have did this weeks ago.
We could have been saving money on these pull-ups. So, but even how that's helped me be a better mother, but it helped me be a better daughter. I had to understand that what my mother-in-law went through was completely different than what my mom went through. My mom was like the rebellious younger sister. If you're looking for a rebellious younger sister, you found her. So I embody a lot of what my mom was in the Black Panther Party. She was sassy to her teachers. Her teachers would always say, oh, we miss your big sister. She's like, well, I could tell you where to go get her. She's just in the next classroom over. Why was she so slick with the mouth? She still is slick with the mouth. Okay?
Like, it ain't changed because Gloria.
She can come with the daggers.
Go.
But
Gloria don't be coming to play.
At all. She don't be for the play.
Facts.
But her experience was very different than what, you know, my mother-in-law was going through. So, and how she was raised. Mm-hmm. So when I finally accepted that we all have our unique experiences, we all have, like, we all don't know better until we do better. And a lot of it is inner child, inner teen healing that you don't even know that you need because you just operating in life like bam, 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 bam. And then something goes bam, and now you crying, or now you angry, or now you hurt, and now you upset. And you don't realize that it's a part of you that was broken so long ago that needs a hug. Mm-hmm. Like the parent that I am, I'm not going to say is the parent that my inner child needed. Because I think my parents did a good job, honestly. Maybe it's the parent my inner child needed, my inner teen needed, because she's ratchet. I'm sure of it.
How'd you call your inner teen ratchet?
I mean, you called George angry.
I mean, she was.
You called George pissed off.
She was.
So mine is a little ratchet. But mine is also a little shy, which is why posting these YouTube videos is such an experience for me, because I'm putting myself out there in a way that I never have before and never was prepared to. But I couldn't do it without recognizing, hey, maybe I don't love myself. And maybe that comes from being in weird relationships with my mom and weird relationships with my daughter. Now, my daughter's really my broke best friend.
Don't come for my boo like that.
She's broke.
She broke. You haven't hit the lottery to make her a millionaire.
Clearly, like, that's what she's waiting for. I have to make the money for her to be rich. You see the disconnect? But when I listen to her and I don't influence her, or when other people say, like, we see who Lyric is, top tier. I was speaking with her teacher, and her teacher was like, Lyric is a leader. Not a lot of people know this, but I have a picture of her. Maybe she was like 3 or 4, and she's going like this because I told her to put up the Black Power symbol, because who else would tell their kid to do that? And she has a shirt, a pink shirt. Pink's my favorite color, so whatever. And it says, "Let's start a revolution."
That is Lyric to the T.
I have been imprinting that in her life. Not just me, her father as well, and anybody who interacts with her. Like, you have no choice but to treat her the way that she's going to tell you to treat her. And, like, that comes from getting that influence from my parents, getting that influence from my mom, because my mom was always, like, silent but deadly. I'm not referencing the fart aspect of it, but like,
Gloria could cut you with her words. She could tear you to
and with a look. Like, there's been many a times I was out in the store, like back in the day when there was like Kids R Us and Toys R Us. They used to be right next door to each other, and I would be in Kids R Us like hiding, and when I would come out of hiding, she would look at me like, "Play with me again if you want to." And I would just be like, I'm gonna
sit down.
I'm going to get right in this cart. Because I don't want to play with you again. I don't want to. I do not want the repercussions of these actions.
This is not a fun game.
No. I rage quit because I'm not raging. I don't want to lose. So getting those, getting that from her, and then being able to give it to Lyric. And the interesting thing is also to just bring in like zodiacs. My mother is a Gemini. Lyric is an Aquarius. There's a whole lot of air energy all around me. So they always in here like, little old me as a water sign is like, this gonna be bad because we're gonna have a tsunami if I get emotional. But the good thing is my mom and I are able to like level each other out. And once we level each other out, we could bring Lyric down. Case in point, last night, Lyric is in the kitchen with Jasmine screaming. I heard every word Lyric said so crisply as if she was in the same room as me. My mom comes out and I was like, why is she? And she goes, why is she screaming? I was like, I don't know.
In her defense, she was excited. Okay.
I was like, can you tell her to quiet down? So my mom comes down and she goes, Lyric, please use your inside voice. So she went from maybe about a 10 to about a 7.5. And she thought she had brought it down enough. So then I had ended up calling Jasmine's phone for something completely separate, and Lyric comes up and I'm like, hey, lovey, you're still being kind of loud. She's like, I had no idea I was still loud. I was like, yeah. Can you bring it down a little bit? I was like, you see how mommy and you are talking? She's like, yeah, mommy. I was like, do you think you can do that downstairs? She's like, yeah, definitely. And I was like, remember, bring it down. By the time she came upstairs and had to take a shower, I didn't even know if the child had ate because she was much quieter. But both my mom and I had to step in to bring her down. Because
I'm just let her be.
Turn up. It's a party. I'm like,
I'm a fire sign. I'm gonna just.
I'm like, why is she yelling?
I didn't even know why she was yelling. I was just like, all right, I guess this is what we're doing today.
So I wanted Jasmine to come on here and give you all of this understanding about mothers and nurturing and these relationships and how it ripples throughout your life, because aunts pose as mothers, godmothers pose as mothers, grandmothers are mothers. I mean, obviously, grandmother. But friends' parents can become mothers. And all of these relationships will play into your people pleasing, your abandonment, your shyness. Because I think my mom's not shy, but I am shy. So I needed to work with that and get comfortable with not being shy, which is weird because I danced for 13 years. I did solos. I do pageantry. Well, I did pageantry, but it's still like, okay, I'm very good in the background, so I'm gonna just go back there, you guys. You guys got that out front? Okay, I fully support that. And like now, even now, like it's still like I gotta get out there, gotta push myself out there, give myself a little nudge. So that's when I go, what would Gloria do? And I'm gonna tell you who else ain't shy. My mother-in-law, she's karaoke queen.
Oh.
Karaoke queen. So they both, like, I pull on both of them to push myself outside the box. Funny enough, what Jasmine didn't touch on is her mother and I have the same zodiac sign.
Yes, both emotional. Jesus.
So nothing happens by chance. Like, I mean, Jasmine's gonna be me anyway because I'm dating her. I was dating her cousin, right? But for us to walk a spiritual journey with each other, and for me to constantly be like, you need to cry, you just need to cry, it's okay, like tears are fine, it's okay. And she'd be like, no, we don't cry, no, it's okay, tears are fine, we all have them. No, my tears don't work. No, they do. And then like healing that with her mom and going through that crying session, like I probably was prepping her for some tears, who knows, but nothing happens by chance. Like, you need someone to guide you into that. My mother-in-law, she thinks she's a Scorpio, but she's Sagittarius.
Facts. Love her though.
Love her. Love you. If you see that, love you.
We love you.
So, oh, sorry. So
I mean, we still call you a Scorpio because we let you have that.
we let you rock.
We let you rock. You know,
That's fine.
you're a Scorpio on the inside.
You might be, and because you're right there on the cusp, so we give it to you.
Right.
But she's Sag.
You're Sag.
And that's that fire to get you out. And like Geminis are the tricksters, so they have no problem being out in the front. Lo and behold, we got little old Cancer me like, is there any paperwork I could do in the background? Do you need any administrative assistance? Because I can be in the background. Lo and behold, everybody around me like, just go ahead on and step out into the front and take your shine. And that's the women around me pushing you. So just to bring it back, and
another aspect that I think is really cool is that you speak your mind, and my mom speaks her mind, and little old me would be like, I'm gonna just keep it inside, maybe it's not the right time to tell, and both y'all like, no, speak up, and I'd be like, all right, I don't like it when you're like, I can't hear you,
right.
So it's really, like I was telling her when I came back, I was like, actually no, when I was still there, I was like, me and my mom are extremely similar. Like, our mannerisms are like really, really the same. And she was like, is that a good thing? And I was like, I think so. I was like,
I had to temperature check it, like, is this good?
I was like, I think so. Because like it was literally like looking in the mirror, or like looking at an older version of myself, and I just was like, this is weird.
I'm gonna have her information in the description box. If you go to her blog and you see pictures of her and her mom, it's crazy. When she posted a picture of her mom, I was like, bro,
it literally
your mom was like, have my face.
Facts.
I like it, and I want to see it outside my body. Like, what? How do we do this?
Like, you know what?
Control, paste.
Right.
Done. I think it's Control V that you use. Yeah.
Yes,
Control V. Which I don't understand, but that's for another day. For my mind to be up at 3 a.m. Googling. But heal those relationships with your mom. And I say heal those relationships with your mom, not just for your mom, because you and her may never be able to have an actual healing conversation. You may never be able to actually reconnect like I did with both my mothers. But what that healing does for you. sometimes you do have to be the mother to your inner child, the mother to your inner teen that you needed, who would just embrace you, who would just let it be okay when you're upset, or when you're super happy about the A that you got, and it was kind of like, well, that's expected. So hard on you. Like, parent that little girl or that little boy, whoever's watching, parent them, because it changes you. Jasmine, she is like downplaying this inner child thing. Like, her hair has been 17 different colors. I'm exaggerating, but 17.
I was about to say 50-11 million, so.
So we toe to toe. But this color, I hope, is to stay because it feels most like her, most authentically like her. And like, me and her mom wear the same shoe size too, because we all wear the same shoe size. So I'm like, when she send you some shoes, if you don't like them, the shoe fits over here. I welcome new shoes. But and then also, we've created our own sister relationship, right? Because I'm gonna tell you, her dad is my fave. He was mad at her this morning. I was like, don't even make him mad.
It was his fault.
It was. But he was mad.
He was so mad.
And you, listen, this is how you know when Dallas is mad. I was like, what she do? Why she do that to him? Mind you, we got off the phone laughing because it was his mistake. It was his mistake, but, and even still, like, love him. But our sister relationship has also transformed as we've been growing in our relationships with our mothers. Like, now we are like, it is like we are the annoying two sisters to each other. But then it's also like, I need you to call me because I need to talk about this.
Mm-hmm. Or when you gonna come because I miss your face.
Yeah. And then she get here and she'd be like, I miss your face. And I'm like, oh, your face ugly.
And I'm like, she was abusing me earlier today. I'm like, I don't think, how you gonna say you can miss me in a video and then abuse me? Like, abuse. Just... Sometimes it's tough love. It's abuse. It is. But that's tough.
But it's watching even that as it grew, because first time I met Jasmine, I'm probably like 7-8 months pregnant with Lyric, and she almost jumped on me and was like, you're my cousin now and I love you. And I was like, wait, please don't hurt the baby. I might need to pee. Help. It's cold, because it was also winter. So immediately stepped into a loving place. And it wasn't like I didn't love her because my husband loved her. This was his other sister. How it was always explained to me. He always protected him and her and his sister. So I already loved her. But then it was like, wait, I'm not prepared. This is a lot of love to give right away. And then
I was like, so much love, here you go.
Right. Like, honestly jumping on me.
I did.
So it was rapidly adjusting to that, because my sisters and I have very different relationships. But even those relationships have changed, which is super dope too. But then going from, not so much that we need each other, but like our spiritual journeys was like this.
Facts.
Like, we couldn't have gotten any closer. And then for a little while we went like this.
When I needed to cry, I'm like,
it's cry time. And then when I was being petty or wanted to be fired up, we burning bridges. We ride the night. She's like, let's go. So
I got the light.
I'm like, well, I'm getting the gasoline right now. Let's go. How many do you think we could burn? So, but then our spiritual journeys went like this, because she is way deeper in her spirituality. She be channeling and all that stuff, and I just be over here like, I think my God's mad at me. They do be though.
And she be like, what's his name? Fabio. Fabio, is that you? I got you like, it's not even my name.
Because I don't know their names, but I know their personalities. I know when I get a gentle, loving song, that's the one who wants to protect my heart and wants to subtly let me know that I'm playing myself. So, but then it's also about playing to our strengths. Like, she's going to help me set up my altar. I wouldn't have been prepared to do that if I didn't grow as a mother, a daughter, and a sister. So
And I also feel like because of where we were in our spiritual journey, there had to be some separation so we could grow into becoming our own and not have like that codependency.
Yeah, because we definitely had that.
We did.
It was weird.
It was.
Not really.
Not really.
We were both used to it, but it was because we both needed to break codependency. Because what abandonment and people pleasing teaches you, because I've suffered from them both as well, is that you become codependent in relationships, which I think I've discussed on here, and if not, I'll do a video discussing codependency, because it's weird, and it's a hell of a drug.
It's a web.
It is a web.
Crack.
I don't know if it's crack, but it's a hell of a drug, because you think you're out of codependency, right? And like to balance codependency, I saw this thing where it was like, I actually sent it to Lawrence last night. It was this meme that was like, hair is the thinnest thing in the world, and the response was like, well, no, you haven't seen my patience. And that's hilarious, but that's how thin it is to be independent versus codependent. Like, it's like just the flick of the wrist, and now you're codependent again, and now you have to go through the whole thing, because it's not like you can just be like, no, I take it back. No, there is no backwards movement
process.
You have to go through the whole thing, and a lot of it is the losing of, the stripping of, the releasing of, the letting go of, and then it's the surrendering of, and then it's you sitting there like, I don't want to be in anymore.
And then it's the setting of the boundaries, not only firstly with yourself, and then with the person. If there's a person, it's just.
And sometimes you don't want to have to do that all the time.
Right.
So we learned it, and I mean, I think sometimes we do still fall into codependency, like, because sometimes it still be like, all right, let's pull some cards, let's figure this out, and then we be 14 cards in deep, and I'm like, you don't need to clarify that part anymore.
Like, no, we are.
It's still clear. It was clear at the first card.
I don't believe it. They lied.
Right. So we just, but I think it's been a more of a healthy balance in understanding like when to lean on and when not to, when to call on and when not to. And then sometimes, honestly, we do the same thing to each other. Like, one person's going on and on about a situation, and then we just be like,
are you finished or are you done?
So, I like eggs. Like, what? That's nothing to do with what I'm saying. Why are you not responding? And it's like, I also like monkeys.
Like the weather today, wasn't that tornado that blew down the street? Wasn't that crazy? And you're like, there wasn't a tornado, but it was though. Right.
So it's very much like understanding, like, you can't do this anymore. I'm not allowing this anymore, but I'm not gonna be nasty to you about it. And boundaries. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. I call on them frequently for help. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, because I need all of them.
I call them all of them. Noah.
She calls
Moses.
on extra people.
Yeah, because I need the extra help.
I stick with the 3.
No. I've been needing backup. To the backup.
Some of us are in the depths. But
it's good to have backups.
I just need the 3. The strong 3 right there. Jesus, fix it. Mary, guide him. Joseph, protect it. But regardless, take this message. I know we've had jokes, we've been silly and all these things, but understand that mother wounds, just like father wounds, which
we both could talk about.
Yeah, we gonna get there. They are day by day.
Sorry, this is us.
For real. You getting a different part of Ashley that you don't usually get in my videos. This is me. Hi. You know that thing? Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
I'm not usually the problem, but I do, like, I like to be funny. I like to be goofy. I like to be silly. But I wasn't always this way. So it's been an area that I've stepped into, and I enjoy it. But I say all that to say, like, and I bring this back into the relationship, because healing that mother wound will heal those inner people within you who still need that love and attention. Mm-hmm. And it's gonna create like a in your life.
It's a ripple effect, because not only when you heal that mother wound, it's like you heal every other aspect of the relationships that you have with mother figures. It doesn't even have to be a mother figure. It could be any woman or any feminine aspect or feminine influence in your life. So for me, it wasn't always about mothers. It was women who I looked up to, aunts, cousins. It was all of them, and me healing that mother wound healed all of that for me.
And what that does then for you is you can fix that queen's crown and not feel threatened.
Mm-hmm.
You can sit in that room with other established women and feel like, I'm at this table and I eat too. So but even for men, like healing a mother wound is unmatched. I'm not a man, so I can't really speak to what it does for you, but what I can say is when you watch somebody ignore it, it's not the best experience to watch, especially if you love and care for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times people don't even know that it is the mother wound that they need to heal. So explore that with your mothers if you can, and if not, explore that with yourself and watch how it changes your life. I'd love to hear about it. I do like to read what you say if you want to tell me. If you don't want to tell me and just want to implement this into your life, I'll take that too. But know that her blog information will be below. I'm also going to link her channel. As you can see, the channel has went through a name change because there's going to be some new content, and that's not a lie. I said that before, but I'm being real. My business is launching, and
I'll make sure of it.
Ooh.
That push her, because she pushed me.
Facts.
We're accountability partners.
It happens.
Which is sometimes not fun. Because sometimes it's a tough love.
Mm-hmm. Which I feel that radiating this way. But look for a segment in this, a playlist about business information that you'll need. I'm not giving it all because if you need help with your business, you need to book with me. So book with me. Thank you for listening. I didn't know how long this video was going to be, so yeah. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Until we meet again. Bye.